Hi, good day everyone. My name is Ashmita and I'm from Ponchibagan. My metric number is MC240527536. And now we are going to look about the daily lesson plan for Form 1. And the subject is English Literature and for the class 1 dilemma, which consists of 30 students. And the day and date is Thursday, 26th February of 2026. It's actually week 3 and the lesson is lesson 3. Okay, the time we are going to do for the lesson is from 10:10 a.m. to 11:10 a.m., which is the duration of 60 minutes, and the theme is literature in action. The topic we are going to teach up to the students in the class is moral values in fables, and the subtopic is choices and consequences. For the teaching approach and method is we are going to do the communicative language teaching skills. And the main focus skills are reading and also writing, and for the integrated is the speaking and listening. For the critical and creative thinking skills, we are going to be identifying the themes, discussing the opinions, and also generating the ideas. And from the lesson plan, we are going to learn the moral values of gratitude, contentment, and also acceptance. For the prior knowledge, students were introduced to the short story The Monkey Paws and were allocated time to fully read the plot prior to this lesson. And students' proficiency levels on this subject is students are expected to demonstrate proficiency level revised A2 of the Common European Framework of Reference, which is known as CEFR. Apart from that, for the content standards, students will engage with and also respond to and also interpret a variety of literary text types. And also students will analyze and evaluate a variety of literature text types in this subject. And also for the learning standards, we are going to describe in simple language a character's actions or feelings and also will explain the reasons for them. Meanwhile, we will also do the identify and describe in simple language where the key characters in a text. And then for the learning objective, the first objective will be for the students is identify various key ideas from classroom activities, derive the meaning of unfamiliar words by utilizing provided context from the teaching materials, and the third one will be the elaborate and provide reasons based on the classroom activities. And from the students, the learning outcomes will be by the end of the lesson, the students will able to actually correctly identify and record minimum 10 key ideas from the classroom activities, and from that students have to correctly define 5 unfamiliar words presented in the teaching materials, and also provide a clear expression of 3 valid reasons during their forum discussions in their own classroom. Apart from all of these, the success of these lessons we can be identified within the success criteria, such as students can actually demonstrate the ability to understand the main points and specific details in the given text, and also students will be able to produce clear expressions during their discussions on their classroom. And the materials and resources that we're going to use throughout these lessons will be Canvas slide and adapted content of the short story and a student's worksheet, apart from it laptop and also LCD projector and screen. And the differentiation from this lesson will be students worksheet with adequate space for open-ended questions where students will be able to answer all of them, and students are grouped with varying proficiencies to address the learning gap. This is to actually build up their communication skills throughout this lesson.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nurisma Adani, and today I will be walking you through a lesson plan focused on a short story. So the part of the lesson that I will elaborate today is called the set induction. This part of the lesson sets the stage for the lesson and helps students get ready for what's coming next. So let's dive into the set induction for today's lesson, which is planned for 5 minutes. The main goal is to help students recall what they already know about the short story they have worked on. Okay, so firstly, we will greet the students and make sure they feel welcome and creating a positive learning environment. We will also do a quick recap of the previous lessons just to get them thinking about what they already know. Next, we will ask the students if they have finished reading the story, which is The Monkey's Paw. This is important because we need to confirm whether everyone is ready for the lesson. But if they haven't read it yet, we will help them to catch up. We will also briefly explain that today's lesson will cover part 2 of the story. To help them understand, we will provide any extra support if needed. And finally, to wrap up the set induction, we will start a discussion. Ask the students whether they agree or disagree with the statement. Like, money can't bring true happiness. This will not only make them think about the story but also get them engaged in the lesson. And to do this lesson, we will use technology like a laptop and an LCD projector to show the students the questions and key points. And by the end of these 5 minutes at induction, the students will feel ready to dive into the lesson. They'll have refreshed their memories, shared their thoughts, and hopefully they'll be excited to learn more. Thank you.
Good day to everyone. I'm Vandana. I'm here to explain the presentation part of this assignment. For this stage of lesson, I will be discussing the adapted content of the short story. First, I'll explain the learning outcomes to the student and why this lesson is important for their overall learning. I make sure they understand that today's lesson focuses on important moral values such as gratitude, acceptance, and contentment, which are values they can apply not only in the stories but also in their daily lives. Next, I provide students with an adapted version of the short story, which has been simplified to suit a mixed ability learners at the A2 level. This helps ensure that all students are able to follow the next text confidently without feeling overwhelmed. I give the students about 5 minutes to read the adapted content independently, allowing them time to understand the storyline, characters, and the key messages. I also explain to the student that this adapted text will be used as a guide for the upcoming classroom activity. So it is important for them to read carefully and stay focused. During this time, I move around the classroom to monitor their progress and provided support if needed. Finally, I address my questions, doubts, or concerns raised by the students to ensure they clearly understand the content and objective of the lesson before moving to the next activity. Thank you.
I'm Muhammad Farhan Dasuki bin Sriyano, and I will proceed with the practice stage of the lesson. This classroom activity will be conducted within 20 minutes. During this time frame, students collaboratively work in a group of 5, which were assigned based on their proficiency level. The objective here is to encourage peer learning, as in the struggling learners can be guided by the advanced students, and these advanced learners will gain better reinforcement in terms of knowledge attainment. And each group will work by analyzing the adapted content shown at the screen via projector, which is similar to the adapted version of the monkey pose shown to them during previous stage. This serves as a guide for the students to identify key ideas and interpret meaning from the given text. In other words, to assess learning outcome 1, correctly identify and record 10 key ideas from the classroom activities, and learning outcome 2, correctly define 5 unfamiliar words presented in the teaching materials. In order to achieve this, students will be given 10 minutes to do exercises comprising of reading comprehension and vocabulary evaluation presented in the student's worksheet. After 10 minutes had passed, the remaining time will be allocated to discuss the answer with the whole class, and the students will have the chance to ask questions regarding the activity. Moving on to the production stage with time allocation of 20 minutes. The classroom activity will focus on higher critical thinking skills in the form of interpretative writing exercise. This align with the third learning outcome, provide a clear expression of 3 valid reasons during the discussion. Prior to starting this exercise, I will give a sample question and answer in order to guide the students the proper approach in answering the questions presented in the section 2 of the worksheet. This would be the sample question that I have prepared for the class. Do you think the company Mo and Megan's should take responsibility for Herbert's death? There is no right or wrong answer. However, the students need to work with their group to find and create their justification, whether they agree or disagree that the company Mo and Megan's should be accountable of the death or not. This will assess their comprehension and also their critical thinking skills. Then I will show the sample answer for both opinions, whether to agree or to disagree. Let's start with the agreeing view first. I think the company should take responsibility because Herbert died at their factory. The machines were dangerous, and the company must protect their workers. Giving money as in compensation is not enough because the family lost their son. And then for the disagreeing view, I think the company should not take responsibility because it was an accident. The company gave money to show sympathy, but they did not cause the wish or the monkey's paw. It was bad luck. After that, 10 minutes will be given to each group to discuss and produce their interpretations and reasoning accordingly. After the 10 minutes has passed, the remaining time will be allocated for students to share their views with the rest of the class. Basically, a whole class discussion. During this time, I will be facilitating and offer insights to further strengthen their justifications.
I'm Kushla Peter here. Now I will explain the conclusion part of my lesson, which takes about 5 minutes. First, I will ask the students what they learned today and how they feel about the lessons. This will be help me check their understanding and also hear their reflection. Next, I will summarize the main points again and highlight the learning outcome. So from these, students leave the class with a clear idea of what they should know. After that, we'll continue. We conduct a short Q&A session, which is this gives students a chance to ask any questions or get clarification on things they are unsure about it. Finally, I will assign a short piece of school work, which is student need to write around under 50 words explaining whether the money brings true happiness or not. This task will help strengthen their understanding and also will allow them to think more deeply about the topic. By end of these conclusions, students will able to share their views or ask questions confidently and also continue their learning through the assigned work. For this section, I will be using a laptop, an LCD, and also projector and my Canvas slide. That's all for my part. Thank you.